manager said I'm paid to execute, not strategize, so I executed his terrible strategy perfectly. I'd been the lead project coordinator at this construction management firm for 6 years when Dalton decided to put me in my place during the Monday planning session. We were reviewing the timeline for the Westbrook Commercial Plaza, this massive mixed-use development worth $32 million, and I'd identified a major sequencing problem in his approach. If we pour the foundation before the soil compaction tests come back, we're risking structural failure, I explained, showing him the geological survey that recommended waiting 72 hours after compaction. Dalton cut me off with this dismissive wave that made the entire project team uncomfortable. Stop right there, Iris. You're paid to execute the plan, not strategize about it. I've been managing projects since before you graduated college. The engineers signed off on the timeline, the client approved it, and we're not delaying for your theories about soil compaction. Your job is coordinating schedules and paperwork, not second-guessing qualified engineers. Just execute the plan as written. I closed my folder while feeling 6 years of catching critical errors get dismissed as theories. Understood. Executing exactly as written. He smiled like he'd won something. See how much simpler things are when everyone stays in their lane? The very next morning, I scheduled the foundation pour exactly as Dalton's timeline specified. 48 hours after compaction instead of the recommended 72. Didn't raise concerns, didn't push back, just executed his strategy perfectly. The concrete trucks arrived on schedule, the crew poured 200 cubic yards of foundation, and I documented everything showing we'd followed the approved plan to the letter. 3 days later, the soil compaction test came back showing inadequate settling in the northeast quadrant, exactly where we just poured foundation. The structural engineer who reviewed the test went pale. Who approved pouring before these results came in? I pulled up Dalton's timeline with his signature and the meeting notes where he'd explicitly overruled my concerns. He did, and I executed his plan exactly as specified. Fixing it required jackhammering out $80,000 worth of concrete and waiting another 2 weeks, putting us behind schedule and over budget before we'd even finish the foundation. Week 3 brought the electrical rough-in disaster. Dalton's strategy called for running conduit before the HVAC ductwork to save time, but anyone with field experience knew HVAC should go first because the ducts need specific routing that electrical can work around. I raised this concern in planning, explaining we'd end up with conflicts requiring expensive rework. Dalton shut me down immediately. The mechanical engineer approved this sequence. Stop questioning qualified professionals and just coordinate the schedule like you're paid to do. I scheduled electrical first exactly as his strategy specified. The electricians ran conduit throughout the ceiling space in a perfectly logical layout. Then the HVAC contractor arrived and discovered their ductwork couldn't physically fit around the electrical paths. The old me would have coordinated a joint site visit before anyone installed anything. The new me had executed Dalton's strategy perfectly, and now we had to relocate 40% of the electrical conduit at a cost of $53,000 and another week of delays. When Dalton demanded to know why I didn't catch the conflict, I showed him the meeting recording where he'd told me to stop questioning the approved sequence and just execute it. Month 2 was when the project truly started hemorrhaging money. Dalton's strategy called for installing the exterior curtain wall before completing interior framing, supposedly to weatherproof the building faster. I'd worked on 8 similar projects and knew this created access problems. Brought it up in planning, showed examples from previous projects, explained the bottlenecks we'd face. Dalton questioned whether I actually wanted to be part of the team or just wanted to undermine every decision. Your job is execution, Iris. Leave strategy to people qualified for it. I scheduled the curtain wall installation exactly as specified. The glass and aluminum panels went up beautifully, right on Dalton's timeline. Then interior framing crews discovered they couldn't get materials and equipment to upper floors efficiently because the loading areas were blocked by curtain wall staging. Tasks that should have taken 2 weeks stretched to 5. We burned through contingency budget paying crews to wait. The project was now 6 weeks behind and $400,000 over budget. The emergency meeting with the client happened on a Thursday morning. Westbrook's development team wanted answers for why their low-risk project was now a disaster. Dalton came prepared with presentations blaming subcontractor performance and unforeseen site conditions. The client's project executive cut through his excuses with one question directed at me. Iris, you've coordinated projects for 6 years. How did this get so far off track? I pulled out my laptop and showed them everything. The soil compaction concerns I'd raised that were dismissed as theories. The electrical and HVAC sequencing conflict I'd predicted 3 weeks before it happened. The curtain wall access problems I'd identified from previous project experience. 6 years of pattern recognition and field knowledge that could have prevented every single problem, all documented in meeting notes where Dalton had explicitly told me I was paid to execute, not strategize. I executed the plan perfectly. The plan was just fundamentally flawed, and I wasn't allowed to say that. The client's executive stared at Dalton with an expression that ended contracts. You had someone on your team who saw these problems coming and you told her to be quiet and follow orders? 2 weeks later, the client demanded Dalton be removed from the project or they'd terminate the contract and sue for damages. The firm promoted me to project manager with an $80,000 raise and full authority over project strategy and execution. Dalton got reassigned to proposal writing where his inability to value execution level strategic thinking couldn't destroy multi-million-dollar projects. I went back to doing what I'd always done, catching problems before they became disasters. Except now my title and compensation actually matched my responsibility, and nobody could tell me that preventing catastrophic failures was above my pay grade.